Hey traders, Jason here with Day Trading Fearless. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. And this is a video for the weekly watch list of February 28th, 2022. I'm going to go over what happened this week, what we're seeing on the charts and things like that, and what to look for next week. But first, check this out. Make sure you check out my website, daytradingfearless.com, to sign up for the $99 lifetime subscription special for the weekly S&P Emini trade zones. These are zones where I give you resistance, support, open gaps, and open VPOCs for the following week trading. You also, in the member section, will receive a 2-hour trade zone training video course where I teach you everything about the trade zones, how to draw them, so you could trade any stock, future, or cryptocurrency. And you also get the member section with all the resistance, support levels, and things like that to draw on any chart. So make sure you check it out. Links down below, but right back to the video. Okay, with that being said, let's jump right into the charts. We're first looking at the S&P E-mini futures. Last week, for the last couple weeks, I've been saying I believe we're going down to the 4,000 level, right down here. Well, guess what? We just hit 4,100 and then had a massive bounce. Now, I think, me personally, that's kind of close enough, 100 points away when I've been calling this for probably a month or two now at that level. So I will take a win on that. But is there still more downside, right? Well, if we kind of look at the overall picture, right, there still isn't excess up above, right? So this major move is not over yet, I believe. But I think maybe we make new highs later on during the year, October, November, something like that. But I just believe going up into June will be exactly where we are right now. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. I think it's a sideways market for the first 6 months. Probably the high up around the 448, the low around 4,000. With all that being said, what is on tap for the market this coming week, right? Well, let's draw a couple trend lines. We're going to just go from that high down here, duplicate this, and then bring this down like this. This is essentially what we're trading in. We've been doing this now for a few weeks within this channel, came to the lower end of the channel, and then we've had a nice big rally bounce. Now, here's the interesting thing. We closed right around the 200, right? We could see kind of came here, bounced, failed, came back above, sideways, bounced here, and then failed. Do we actually come here and roll back over? Well, I think that all depends what happens this weekend with the news. Me personally, I think we could probably get back up to the 50 potentially. That's about another 100 points higher until we start to roll over. It would also be the upper side of this trend line. But we're also at the point of control of the bigger market profile. I actually won't be surprised if we roll back over. Now, the one thing that I do see is a nice divergence going on right here, right? So as we made the slow kind of gap lower, right? Overnight, opened down about 100 points on Thursday, and then we've been off to the races. Literally in a parabolic move, not even backfilling, backtesting, anything like that. With that being said, I think early part of next week, again, it all depends what happens over the weekend with the news and with what's going on overseas. I actually think if nothing happens, we'll probably maintain these levels open flat to a little higher. If there's anything major, I think they're going to roll this thing over and we'll probably gap 50 points lower, something like that. So we will see what happens next week. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Probably we'll just call it a range of somewhere within this box going into next week. So probably, again, it's all news driven, so be very aware of what's going on. Let's take a look at the NQ. With the NQ, if you guys remember, I drew these fibs, right? Came down to the 127, and then also actually the point of control literally bounced right off the point of control and up. We do have the trend line here, and then we also have the 200 and the 50. Potential golden cross may be coming up on the NQ, so just something to think about. They're about to kiss. We will see what happens. Remember, the golden cross is where they actually cross the 200 and the 50. So again, same thing, news driven, see what happens. But I do think I would say something probably within this range right here for next week, what I think is going to happen. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil hit the $100 barrel. You know, I've been calling for that for a while. I was calling for 90 for the longest time, and I said, hey, I think we're going to 100. I actually think, and again, happens with what happens overseas, we could potentially see 125 on oil. So just something to keep an eye on. Now, with that being said, look at this, right? Check out this divergence going on right here, from here all the way down to there, right? Nice clean divergence, but again, this is news driven, right? Anything could change with that, so don't be careful. I don't like to see these type of moves on news because anything's possible, and these divergences do not necessarily mean they have to play out. So be careful with that, but probably sideways next week. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of fell. No divergence. It's doing what it should do. Maybe a bounce to the upside and then a roll back over. But we will see with Bitcoin, really no trade long or short. Again, ultimate targets are this 26 and 21,000 levels, give or take, below. Let's take a look at gold. Look at this move in gold, right? Massive gap higher and then sold off all day, right? Huge move. And then we're kind of trying to retrace it. So gold, I actually think lower, unless again something crazy happens. It may work its way lower back to the slower trend line and the 50 period moving average. Silver finally kind of got to the trend line, gapped above, and we're right back down below. Again, no trade, nothing really in silver that I'm in love with. And then finally, let's take a look at Apple. I've been calling this. I say, hey, watch the 150 level. There was the 200. Look at this. Also, you could see it was a low volume node right on the market profile. It all matched up, came down, bounced, and had about a $15 bounce off those lows, give or take, or actually, 52 to 65, yeah, $13 bounce, not a bad move off it. But remember, in bear markets, which is what we essentially are in right now, we do have rip your face off rallies, and that's what we're having, and then price will roll over and then go back lower. So I don't think this is done. Too many unknowns going on. So be careful out there. Be safe next week. Hopefully you guys find value in these videos, and we'll talk to you next week. See ya.